Really pisses me off. YouTube lately, the video just turns off. I mean, what in the devil is happening? It's so weird. Anyway, part two. If you missed part one, I'm talking about flying with my son with autism today and our service dog. We are getting ready to drive to Raleigh and then we'll fly to Miami. We do not have a connecting flight, which is really good. I don't know if I could fly by myself with them. So I had a good friend and she was like, well, why is it hard? Isn't the service dog supposed to help you fly? So the service dog is great. She does behavior interruption. She does deep pressure for Amos while we're on the plane. But it's a stressful activity going through the airport. Whether it's the best dog in the world, just like it's stressful when you have children in the airport. She has to remove, sometimes not. It depends how TSA is feeling that day. Sometimes we have to remove all her clothes, her service vest, and they hand check her. Sometimes she walks through the check machine. And so usually I have Amos go through first, and then the dog, and then me, or Amos, me, then the dog. It's just your anxiety sort of escalates. But once we get through security, and we do use Clear. So if you have a child with a disability, I highly recommend Clear. It is not cheap. It's maybe $100 a year, and then children are free. It means that there's no waiting. And there are some things in the airport like TSA Cares where 3 days in advance, you send an email and the idea is that they meet you at the airport. I have done that a few times and no one has ever shown up. So I've just decided that's not worth it. So this way, if I get to the airport early or I get there late, I'm not walking around looking for this stranger. So there's that. It was looping. You can take a Clorox wipe and wipe it off. Yes, I'm sure it was. So anyway, so I take an extra set of clothes for Amos just in case there is an accident. What's the difference between Clear and pre-check? So TSA pre-check used to be you didn't have to take off your shoes. Now nobody does. And there is a longer line. Clear, the most people that have ever been in front of me is maybe 5. So with Clear, you don't even have to show an ID at the airport. I mean, I take one, but you don't have to show it. They scan your eyes, your boarding pass, and then they walk you to the front of the line. So if you're in the line, you think these people suck. But if you're the one getting to do that, you think, boy, this is worth paying for. We always go to the front when I say he has autism and he can't wait. Well, that is awesome. That does not always happen. So that's the part that, to me, if you're going to fly with a person with special needs, you want to do as much as you can to make it as smooth as possible. And depending on random kindness is not the best thing because you don't know what's going to happen. In fact, last time we were flying through Charlotte, they told us to go get in this line. We get in the line, we get up to the front of the line, and the TSA person says, you're not supposed to be in this line. We don't open for 20 minutes. Well, we're not able to wait 20 minutes. So we had to leave the line, which was upsetting to Amos, and then we had to go find another line. So all those things are a little bit hard. Why are you doing a trip when you just got back from one? Well, because I belong to a person with autism, and he has 3 days off of school. And there is nothing he loves more in the world than to travel. And I try to book things to do with him. I have 3 other children that oftentimes they come first and their weekends come first. So as much as I would love to sit right here and clean up my house and get ready, we're going to have some snow. I love snow, and sit right here. I could have everything done. I'm going to Florida and I'm going to see my parents. And that is one thing I talk about, is really spending time with the people you love. My husband's parents died this year really unexpectedly, both of them. And I someday will wish they were here. And so I do try to take advantage of seeing them. So there's that. So anyway, this is the bag I'm going to take. I'm going to carry it on a rolling suitcase. I'm not going to check a bag. This is the sunflower lanyard. Now, what I would tell you is this is not any kind of federal anything. This is like some sort of airport pass somebody created, and it's this lanyard. And the idea is that if somebody sees you wearing this, they're going to know you have disabilities. Part of me is like, that's annoying that I have to wear sunflowers around my neck so people are nice. But then I also recognize that having a service dog kind of helps us get better service too, because it's obvious Amos has a disability. So what I do is I don't typically wear it, but I do hang it on my bag. So there's that. Reading glasses and wallet. I do not carry a pocketbook, a purse. I carry this because they're very picky that your purse or whatever you have has to fit in your bag, and I just don't need it. So I take a wallet and I put it right where I can find it in the front bag. Now, in here, we have a couple things. We have 2 new books for Amos. First 100 Animals he had asked me to order. I've been hiding, and 5,000 Awesome Facts. So those will be his books. He is not really into an iPad, so on the plane, he will read books or he will lie on the floor with Honor. That is kind of what he does. He also always has a Coke when we're on a plane. That's pretty new. The last time we flew, he started that. He thinks it's such a treat, never asks for a Coke any other time. So it's sort of fun and cute. These are travel pet wipes. You just never know if somebody throws up, spits up, whatever. You can also use them on yourself and your child. You got a pack of like 8 for $3. So I bought them. A new book that Bianca wrote, Alec Murdoch, the convicted murderer. This was his housekeeper, New York Times bestseller, and I've been wanting to have her on my page, and she mailed me the book, Within the House of Murdoch. So I'm hopefully going to read this. I don't usually read on the plane, but you never know. I'm getting closer these days. I have some of my clothes in here because I didn't have room in the suitcase. A double charger. This double charger can charge things in a matter of like 5 minutes. So this is my friend. I have 2 phones and 2 chargers. Sunglasses. And then the most important thing for us is the medicine. So we have in here the dog's ear medicine. We have Amos's medicine. It has to stay cold. We have tablets. We have all the things. And I keep it in a bag in my carry-on because if our suitcase, now we're not checking the bag, so that wouldn't happen. But I also don't want it to spill. And when we go through security, I always say, I have a bag of liquid medicine. And that way they know, and so they always pull the bag and go through it. Now, one thing I could do is I could take it out of the bag and have it sit in the tray. I never do that. So anyway, I keep the medicine in a bag together and never have a problem. Never have a problem. And that's it. That's all I've got in the bag. Grandma, kiss my ass. I mean, don't you have to get back to 7th grade, you turd? Bad child. Probably my son. My children last week said, my son Thomas, who is probably my sweetest child, said, your videos are, I don't know why people watch them. I go back and look and they're sort of, I said, boring? He was like, yeah. I was like, I know. You have hundreds of thousands of subscribers if you like, have children that like pretend they're driving trucks. I mean, I don't know. Do you take Blanky? Oh yeah, we take Blanky. Blanky, oh, and we take snacks. So I'm gonna throw in my bag a frozen peanut butter jelly, and I'll take that and some raisins. Glad you said that. And then we will stop at McDonald's and go ahead and eat that now. And then he'll have a peanut butter jelly and some raisins. And then when we get to my parents' house, he can eat then as well. Yeah. So anyway, thankful to be going. Always a little nerve-wracking, and hopefully it's a good trip. But stay tuned for more. Give you an update maybe tonight.